I like spaceships.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and I got Max with me, whose sound just went out the window. I think that's what she just texted me, so we'll see what happens. Just give me a thumbs up and I'll put you back in. So we just watched the new Bad Batch, and I won't lie, haven't really given two shits about the show as it's started this year. It was just kind of boring. But for the mission of the week format, this new one for me was probably my favorite one. Probably my favorite one since back when they were supposed to do the minecart and pulled out on it. I feel like this almost delivers on that promise of a huge action sequence from last season that I felt like, oh, it's kind of checked out on the show in some ways after that episode last season. Kind of made me not believe in it as much. But tonight's episode, it was pod racing basically, but called riot racing. And they have a droid named Teo who's supposed to be Sid's racer. She brings some of the Bad Batch with them to be security. And that was fun. I liked it. Made sense to me. Hey, thank you, Thomas. Had a rough day at work. Listening to you and Rob talk about the new Mandalorian directors made it a little better. Hey, I'm glad, man, and thank you for supporting the show. I always appreciate that. And but you got some new that new Bad Batch episode. It was pod racing essentially, and Max says, "Ugh, hold on. Ugh, I had some bad tacos," says Max. But yeah. So, oh, by the way, so Seth Nico says Ben Schwartz is the voice of Sonic. Voice of Sonic played the droid. And did you guys see Ernie fucking Hudson? Ernie Hudson, fucking Winston was the bad guy. I mean, come on, Rhea Perlman and Winston in the same episode. That's pretty fun casting. If you're gonna do celebrity casting, But I liked it. The one thing I thought was a little bit, I wouldn't say questionable, but for being a kid show, actually I don't need these right now until she comes back. It being a kid show, I was kind of like, you have, I thought they were gonna be like, oh, if we put Omega in the racer, it's lighter, and with it being lighter, it'll go faster. So I thought they were gonna have her do it, but I think they didn't do it because Anakin's like the only kid who could pod race. I think it's not the same thing, but I think it comes close. And I think they were feeling like, is she pod races? Then she's like a Jedi. And they're like, we can't do that. Fucking Star Wars, it's silly. But I think that's where they were going with it. So so then they put tech in there. But it was just really fun. It was, I mean, there's like not like really like a lot to say about the episode because it wasn't that deep, but the movement was good. And then like, yeah, like I get how somebody told Star Wars Meg this was the worst episode ever. And I was like, this is the first episode I liked. This is the first episode where I was like, I mean, in terms of it being filler at this point, I don't think the show has okay, this sounds bad. The show doesn't have a promise. There's no promise to the show. Like, what's the agenda? Where does it go? What are they trying to get? What are they trying to buy? A fucking farm for Omega? Put her on the farm? You know what I mean? Like how is anything inherently in this show not just by default filler, right? Because I don't know what the objective of the show is. I don't know what they're supposed to be doing. There's just absolutely no point to the show other than space adventures. So if you're going to throw if it's a mission of the week, space adventure show, and you throw them out, and then they're like racing in this episode. This is the most fun they've had. It's better like when it started and they were like bringing space chicken nuggets across the border or something. I was like, oh shit, man. I just want to go to bed, And then when it became the racing episode, I was like, oh, that's a lot better. The Teo droid was ridiculous, but I like that level of eccentricity when it comes into Star Wars. I'm cool with it. I liked, Riot Racing, which is just basically Mad Max style wacky races with droids and humans, and yeah, that's cool. It was fun, and like I said, enjoyed that episode a lot more than the other ones, where it was just like, I mean, everything that has emotional resonance in the show thus far has just been treading water. Crosshair's just an asshole. Nothing really changes. He doesn't really, and then when you think it's going somewhere, it kind of reverts back. So we furthered the story a bit on the clones versus stormtroopers. Like, I dropped that little bit that it's totally moving towards the Death Trooper program. That's really where I think the story is essentially going. So outside of that, I'm a little like, okay, this is all going to just be adventure of the week. This is how you do it, pod racing, basically, riot racing. So it's the way to go. I would rather those characters go through the fun elements of Star Wars and have fun with that galaxy, that universe, as opposed to simply being like, oh, I'm so evil, but just when you thought I might turn good, I did evil again. It's a I'm an adult man watching a pretty much cartoon, so I don't go too far. I don't go, too deep with it. Like, I don't hope for too much. But this also was written by Matt Menovitz, who did a bunch of Clone Wars stuff, and this was good. All right, let's see.
Shit.
Hey, you said it, Max.
God, every time I'm on time.
Yeah.
Something fucks up.
How about this? What do you think about this look?
It looks really good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm tech.
You are. You're totally tech.
Yeah.
You're
But anyways, what do you think, Max?
Actually, I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it. It was predictable, but I liked it.
All right, go on.
You didn't like
going.
it? I'm a fan of. Huh?
I said I just went for 8 minutes. It's all you. It's your show now.
So you guys, no.
Yeah.
No. So like, I'm a big fan of pod racing.
Yeah,
and
me
so
too.
I dug the whole riot racing and the whole race speeder type of speeders that were kind of modified.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought who was going to win was very predictable, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But I didn't really have anything bad to say. Well, what's his name? Toy or T-O-Y? What, the droid that Sid liked, or that was the one that broke down, the main guy that was
Teo.
Whatever, him.
The Teo droid.
He's annoying.
Yeah, Teo was an idiot. I liked I liked how they used tech, using like a little bit of strategy. Teo's just like going straight out front, getting in first place, and then gets beat up. It's like bad, stupid strategy. I do think the robot would have figured it out, hang back and let them fight. I think a robot could have figured that out. A robot could have done it. But Teo was an idiot. So yeah, you kind of see like as the race starts, he hangs back. He lets them fight it out a little bit before moving in, entirely. But yeah, it didn't. It played on the pod racer like
A lot.
design and direction like really heavily, but it did a good job.
I liked it. I'm sorry, I'm still congested. You guys, I had COVID last
Yeah,
week. It
I had it the
sucks.
week before you.
It
We don't
wasn't that
we live miles apart, so I didn't give it to her. I'm innocent.
you gave it to me
I mean, I was like
over
over
the
the mic.
phone.
And now
Yeah.
you all have it.
Again.
But you're feeling better, feeling good.
Yeah, I felt better last week. I'm just a little congested. My friend told me that was gonna be like the last thing that goes away.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
it. No, I mean,
I started
I
getting a cough again,
uh-huh.
and I thought, oh fuck, I got the because like in Beverly Hills right now, it's like 10,000, like which isn't that far from me, like
Uh-huh.
10,000 like cases of that new variant,
Oh,
and I was like, oh, cat fight, cat fight.
stop it.
But there's like, so I was like, but you're, hey, hey,
Throw a beer cap out of them, right?
that's what you
There
do.
was just one lying around, so
Just pour it in the milk, let the cats get drunk, fight it out, and go to sleep.
nah.
No,
God, I knew they were gonna do this.
it's okay. They Mohawk. I mean, Mohawk's basically a channel member, so it's
He's the
cool.
cat. He's
He's the official cat
he
of
is.
the show. So
Yeah, but his
it's
brother's
fine.
been picking on him lately. So you said
Yeah.
there's what? The variant going on
Oh
in
yeah.
Beverly?
No. I started getting a cough, either a new cough or something. I was like, I've been wearing a mask and everything, like when I go out because I had it, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, I might as well just go back to masking because But yeah. Did you yeah,
Hold on.
Rob, get the fuck out of here with your
Hear me?
non-Star Wars talk.
Uh-oh.
See, you fucked up. You made Max malfunction, Rob. Fucking god damn it, Rob.
Okay.
Um, Rob, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show though.
Fuck.
It lives up to the minecart from last year that you saw that broke you. It's a good episode. It's actually a good one-off episode. Max just
I liked
throwing,
it.
but yeah. I mean it's clear that
Well, I haven't
they're telegraphing something with Sid, right? Sid's gonna
yeah.
fuck him over, then not fuck him over, and have a heart of gold.
That little lizard
But
bitch.
little lizard bitch. But yeah, and then also tell Rob, Ernie Hudson, man. Come on. Don't I thought you supported the Hudson.
Oh, he's
But
the Ghostbuster guy? Is that him?
yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
look at the credits or anything.
Yeah. I wanted to see who was doing Teo's voice.
Teo.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Daylight
Teo.
coming to me. I
Teo.
wanna go home.
I thought that too, Mac. I swear to God, I thought that too.
I did.
My
Who
my
did the
my
voice?
my phone was the Teo.
Uh-huh.
Teo was the Sonic guy, the guy who does Sonic, which is Rob's favorite as well.
Oh.
Yeah, Rob especially loves Sonic 2. Rob said, "I'm going to see Sonic 2, and I'm not wearing a mask because I want to enjoy. I want to breathe in the movie theater air." He just did it. He just took off all of his masks. He's like, he took it off, and he just sat there and loved it. No, Rob actually walked out of Sonic 2. He was like, "Fuck this."
Sonic 2 is in like the Hedgehog?
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog.
There's a movie?
Yeah, Sonic 1, people like. I didn't like it personally. I
Mhm.
was bored. I was just like, whatever. It was fucking like people I think were just enamored with it not being totally incompetent. So they were like, "Oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever." Whatever, you know.
Hmm.
But then Sonic 2 came out. They were really happy about Sonic 2, and then Sonic 2 is, garbage. So Sabersmith says, "I like the fact that Hunter and Echo weren't in the episode. They can do things apart from each other. But what were Hunter and Echo doing? What were they doing?"
Big bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you, I mean, I don't know if you heard. Do you think it was, do you think it was like a mistake to not have Omega drive the. the
I almost
eraser.
thought that she was going to,
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
but
It's more realistic that they didn't go that way, considering, like I said, the stupid pod race. I'm the only human who can do it. Oh
yeah.
well, but it's like it's not really that far from it, so kind of, you know.
Well, it's fine. I'm
But
kind
it
of
being
glad
like
that she didn't.
it kind of being I'm kind of glad she didn't too. But it being a kid show, I was like, that's one thing I was like, because then they eventually use the weight motif when he throws the guns off
Mhm.
the racer to lighten the
Like,
load
"What are
so they
you
can go faster.
doing?"
Maybe just put the kid in there from the start. I mean, when lasers were shooting up in the stands and shit, that was pretty funny. But like, they weren't like ducked. They were just like, "Hey, if you get shot, kid."
And somebody did get shot.
Yeah,
He
somebody
died.
he
And
died.
then they gave the disclaimer
Yeah,
afterwards. I laughed at that one.
yeah, yeah.
Stupid.
And then everybody kind of cheered about it. Yeah, but yeah. Also, has totally irrelevant. Just me being an idiot, but me and you were talking before the show, before the show started, and I had to go put my phone on the charger before it died. So I come in
Mhm,
here, put it on charger, go back in the front room to watch the show, and I
mhm.
go to see if it's up yet. And when I click it, I don't realize that I went to back to season 1, and I thought all the episodes were up. So I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like going to text you like, Max, we can't do the show. We just gotta watch them all because they messed up. They put them all up. We just gotta watch them all right now, and then we're gonna do a mega show. Max, you're staying up all night. And then I was like, oh wait, it's just
That's
season
season
1.
1.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Every time I refreshed, it went to season 1.
yeah, yeah, that's what it
This
did to
one
me.
came
I
up
think,
late too.
yeah,
Like
yeah. When it comes to like Clone Wars, I mean not Clone Wars, like Mando and Obi-Wan and all that shit, they put
uh,
that stuff up like 10 minutes before the hour.
yeah.
This
This
show,
one,
they
it
on the
started like
hour, they're like nobody
they're like,
cares.
"Fuck you, you're not watching it."
Yeah, I think they might do that to like not stress out their servers.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like put it up 10 minutes early, like get the early people in and playing so that way it doesn't just crash it.
yeah.
And but I think with Bad Batch, so like nobody's gonna crash the shit. We're fine. Just set it for 12, go to bed.
Yeah.
So but
It was cute.
yeah, I mean that was like that's maybe the first episode I would watch again,
Me too.
you know?
Actually, honestly, yeah. Because I like racing.
Yeah.
That's why I drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Slow down, Max. Slow down. But Seth Nico says, I've always been a Mario guy. Me too. Me too. I enjoyed like the first 2 Sonic games. After that, got a little bit weird. Then you start getting into that Sonichu stuff. Start getting a little bit of Chris Chan out here in the world. Too
I
many Chris
played a
Chans in the world.
princess.
In Mario 2.
Mm-hmm.
I like that she could kind of
Glide.
just kind of go across. But
I do that in real life.
after a couple drinks,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, right in the heart attack. Midnight on the dot for me. Yeah, same
Oh,
for me. It was up at midnight on the dot for me as well. But I'm used to it coming up 10 minutes early on like the big shows. Like
yeah.
when I stretch it out, like the time for us, like where will we probably start? I'm usually like taking off 10 minutes for that because it comes 15 to 10 to 15 before. Not on this show though.
I've learned that I have to skip the intro with you
Mhm.
because you're like, "Oh, I've started."
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. Yeah, well, because I mean everybody's staying up, so I don't want people to go, you know what? I'm just gonna go to sleep and watch tomorrow. I want them all in the chat talking shit.
Talking shit.
Talking shit. Sketchcraft says, I've been saying for years they should make a pod racing anime cartoon. Oh man, Star Racers pulled it off 20 years ago. Yeah, this is the first thing, like the first step towards that. Even when they did Star Wars Resistance, it was about racers, but I don't feel like it actually captured
Mm-mm.
the speed and intensity of the movies like close to it. This was definitely an abridged version of the pod race, is what I'd say. But they pulled it off. I did like on the final lap, like the final like stretch of the race at
Mm-hmm.
the end, like when
Mm-hmm.
obviously Tech wins.
Yeah.
Um, I was into it. I know I'm like, oh, I actually got pulled into this. And sometimes when I watch the old Bad Batch, I'm a little bit like, I'm connected with this at all this whole time. You know, it's not
I
bad.
excuse me. I do like the fact that it kind of it kind of bridges like Clone Wars and Rebels, because there's a smidge of Rebels in there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the stuff that the imperfections that you had mentioned, I
Mm-hmm.
think last week, how they move slowly or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
there's an element of Rebels in there.
yeah.
I could
That
tell.
weird walking that we saw in some of the earlier episodes. It wasn't in this one though.
No, you said, I think it was the last one,
Yeah.
the
No,
last episode.
yeah, I'm saying like that's the thing about it is if they always walked poorly, then I wouldn't be like, why is this person walking like stick figure weird? You know, like so.
Mhm.
It's
I don't know about you, but I always walk like that.
yeah, yeah. It's like I don't know. It's just strange. But Clone Wars was like that. Then it fixed it, and it
Mhm.
was weird to see it come back. Like it feels like it's like if there's not enough time, or there's like a one pass on the animation with no
Mhm.
notes or something, then that's what you get.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, all in all, I mean,
It's alright. It was good. I mean, it was cool.
yeah, I mean, like the only bad thing about it is there's not really a lot to talk about. I mean, it looked good. The Teo, I probably, if I had to be critical, I could have used a little bit more modulation on Teo's voice to make him sound less like Sonic or a guy
Mhm.
and more like a droid, like to give it a little bit of Star Wars weirdness. That's maybe the one thing I would have done. And
He
but
referred to
that's
himself in the third person too.
oh yeah, because he's Teo. I like that his head spun around so he could see behind him
Mhm.
when he's like racing. His head would spin around, then he would be able to look back.
I do that all the time.
You need that.
Yeah.
Like somebody's in the back when you're like
No, my head
talking to them.
spin.
You just go, oh, like
My head spin.
yeah.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't turn my head all the way. I shaved my own head today, and usually that's a 2-pass job for me. I do 1 pass and I'll have like clump, like this clump like I
Do
didn't
you
see.
really?
Oh yeah, it takes like 2. And the clippers I use are like dying, like the battery's going out. So sometimes I could get it done in 1 charge, but usually it's like a 2-charge job. Today it was I'm like, you know what? I'm like kind of like rubbing back. I'm like, I feels like a little clumpy back here a little bit. So
You look like a Padawan.
yeah, little, but
Mm.
yeah, and yeah, I agree with Lobo that Rob's not wrong on that. I mean, and I think that this is a step in the right direction. If you're gonna do like if you're gonna do a mission of the week style show, then you want them getting into antics where they are doing a pod race. They are doing, and if the show doesn't have a like I said, like there's not like am I wrong, Max? Is there like a central point to the show?
They're all missions.
Yeah, they're just all like there's like every episode is inherently going to be filler because it's not like we're trying to get Omega back to her family or we're trying to get Omega to, you know what I mean? Like there's nowhere to take
Mhm.
her. There's absolutely no ultimate objective other than we just then subsisting. And so if they're going to do it, this is where you go and like I know Rob, for instance, is critical of the Kessel run in the Solo film, and he's won me over with that for the most part. Oh, I'm like, yeah, that Kessel run in the movie in the Solo film could have been a lot better. It wasn't really. When they think back on it, like there was that. What was that monster called? The Maw? Is that the Maw? Like that giant
The
monster?
Maelstrom.
The
Maelstrom?
Maelstrom?
Or
The
something like that?
monster, the monster guy
Oh.
in Solo, a Star Wars
Yeah,
story, like
yeah.
a big monster. Like, anyways, yeah. But the fact of the matter, I don't fucking remember. Neither do you, really, because it wasn't really that good. And
It was a
so
fun movie for me.
no, it is a fun. It's a fun movie. We're just saying like the Kessel run itself could have been.
Well, I didn't
It should
think
have
that
been,
that's what it was gonna
but
be,
it should have
the
been
Kessel Run.
the Kessel run. It's yeah, that was the Kessel run.
That wasn't what I
That was
thought.
that was Han Solo doing the Kessel Run in whatever amount of parsecs.
I was just
And
like, actually, I'm wearing a Curious t-shirt tonight.
oh yeah, nice.
Uh-huh.
But so it's like, oh yeah, look at her.
See?
So if you're gonna so anyways, where I'm going with this is if you're gonna do this mission of the week style shit, and it's all kind of just fun, just good fun, put them in pod races, put them in the Kessel Run, have them do things from Star Wars that are just good times. If it's going to be mission of the week, that if you were doing missions of the week in that universe, you would want to do if you were a child, especially. Like my kids jumped out on the show on me.
This one?
Yeah, like I don't I'm critical on the show of that show, but when like I'm with my kids, I don't shit talk the shows to them. I ask them what they think, and then I ask questions, but I don't guide. I'm trying to lead it or anything like that, because I actually like I would be happier if they loved it, and I was like, God, this is kind of stupid,
So they don't like it very much.
But they're like, nah, they're like, this is just like, what's the point? Like that's how they feel about it. And so, and I know that's how I feel too, but I know if like my 9-year-old boy is feeling that way, Penny goes back and forth between being like, I like fun shit, and I'm like a girl and I don't want anything to do with your shit. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, hey, whatever you want to do. Like me and Penny's into more of like avant-garde music. You know what I mean? Like we'll watch indie music together and shit like that. That's more of her thing. And so anyways, so when it comes to this show, I was like, they kind of jumped out, and I'm hoping though that I showed them this one. I'm like, hey guys, you guys got to see this one. I'm just gonna put it on like at dinner tomorrow. See if I could get them back in, maybe.
Good morning, Nick.
Hey Nick. But
I liked this one. I mean, I'd watch this again. I watched the last one because I was trying to remember what it was, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
But the rest of I don't know this. I told you when I watched the show that I'm just kind of going in it like I'm gonna watch a cartoon.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna like not be so hard on it. And it's to me it's way better than Resistance. But
yeah. This episode that we got tonight was what I wanted from the earlier parts of Resistance. Like I was saying, I like Bobby Moynihan and Resistance and stuff, but after that, I don't really remember a lot of it. A lot of it just didn't really stick.
I didn't finish it because it didn't hold my attention.
Yeah,
and especially that point, I was so into Star Wars. Like I think The Force Awakens had just come out, and did it come out after Rogue One? I forgot.
Yeah, it was after Rogue One and The Last Jedi. I think it was before. It didn't Resistance start before Episode? It started right before the film. So it was like Last Jedi. It came out. It
started before the Last Jedi.
It was 2 seasons. It was 2 seasons, and it kind of like, and then I think it went like right after. So no, it started before Episode 9 and ended after Episode 9.
Yeah, I just
and it was like oh my god, guys, like it's gonna name drop Kylo Ren and Hux or something, and it's like nobody cares now.
I didn't
like it was at that
and
point.
I wanted to like it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was I just think it was a little what's his name? The main character was a little.
It was a little too close to Ezra, to the bad parts of Ezra.
He was,
you know what I
than
mean?
Ezra.
But I liked Ezra. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Ezra.
I mean, he had those moments, but
the story of Ezra is good, and if you edited Ezra, he's good. But when you have a little bit of that like Pollyannish, space Aladdin stuff, it goes a little too far. He talks to himself. He monologues a lot, like in ways that Star Wars characters
I do that in real life.
You're like, oh no, what are they doing with those Melarunes? It's like, what? Shut the fuck up.
Melatonin.
So, yeah, but But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, this is good. This was better. And then I kind of in a way I'm kind of bummed because I think next week we're gonna go back to exporting chicken nuggets. So I hope I'm wrong though. But I kind of think that maybe it's gonna go that way.
How many more episodes are there?
Of this show,
Excuse me. Mhm.
I think they gave out 14 to the press, so that means there's 15 or 16. I don't think I think they kind of
That's
go
a
right up.
lot.
I think they go right up to the finale. I think I'm pretty sure I'm right, but
The finale of, like, forever or
no, to the season finale,
oh,
which might be the series finale. I don't know.
that's a
Yeah,
lot of shows.
yeah. Well, that's like the problem with the first season of this show. Okay, so so they gave out 14, and then there's 16 total. So the last two they just didn't give out. Thank you, Lally. I think the show in total, like the last season,
Mhm.
if you just trim that down to like eight episodes to 10 episodes, it probably would have been a much better like series, like a much better show. Like things like the minecart that they pulled back on, which clearly was budgetary. And clearly they wanted to make like that many episodes for that dollar amount, like a lot of episodes for a dollar amount. And
Mhm.
but it's like, quality over quantity goes a lot further. And had they made it less, I would have probably rewatched it more. So instead they got like one watch out of me. But if they had made it less episodes but higher quality, I probably would have rewatched. And that's one of the things I think that they need to understand that's a little bit different about the subscription model. Because like Star Wars fans, I think are sticking with Disney Plus on the off times because they want to potentially rewatch the shows that they can't legally own. Like, I can't legally own Mandalorian any way but Disney Plus. There's bootlegs you could buy on Amazon, but they're bootlegs. You would be
I
supporting
didn't
piracy
I
if you
didn't
bought it.
realize that. I thought
Yeah,
those were legitimate.
yeah, I don't believe they are. And so point being, that's why I think most people subscribe on the off times. But if you make your shows so low quality that it's a one and done, I watched it now, I'm never going to watch it again. It doesn't really actually help them.
But you
It
can download, the shows, right?
I don't. You
I
mean
ye
like buy them on like
no,
like Apple and stuff, like
I
Amazon.
thought that there's an option to, like, download them, like, I tried and it said my at the time my
O-
phone had a
On the
lot of
Disney app, you could download it, but
yeah.
you have to have an active subscription to watch it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so you could like go on an airplane. You could download your episodes on your trip and like watch them on an
Oh,
airplane or something like that. And like so you could
kinda like
download them.
downloading them on YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
only do that. Okay.
But but point is legally, if you're gonna follow the rules of modern capitalism, you are going to have a Disney Plus subscription to watch this shit. And so less can be more. You know what I mean in that way. But this episode that we got today, I mean, I got zero problems with it. In fact, kind of kind of wouldn't mind it if this had come a little bit earlier in the season. Like this actually might have been better to reorient into the first episode
Mhm.
of the show because it was so much fun. But I'm glad. I mean, I'm happy that I was really expecting very little tonight. And like I said, somebody told Meg that it was the worst episode
No, it's n
of the year. And it's like that's the best episode I've seen so far.
that's right, and
So but that
so what
says
I
something
texted
about
you
us,
was
right?
actually yeah, what I texted you today was true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just never know. I mean, we're all different.
Well, I
And
said tonight was gonna be the best episode.
yeah, I know. I was like, shut up, Max. But it was, yeah, you're right. I mean, it was.
It
It's
was
just
better
like
than the other episodes that aired.
but the fan base is so big. Like if you say, something is the best, then it's the worst to someone else. Because like everybody has these different things that they enjoy. And I think you and I both are you're a big prequel fan, right? Like and
Yeah, yeah, no.
I love Phantom Menace is a movie I can just put on and watch. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever made, but it's just like if I'm just gonna put on something and to make existence a little bit more bearable, that one
Mhm.
doesn't make me, it's just an easy movie for me. and like the pod race is a big
I love the
reason
pod
for
race. Oh
that.
my god, that's like my
Yeah,
favorite scene. So that's when, like I said, I love racing. So
yeah, yeah.
I'll watch this
So
again.
so if you're gonna pull from established things in a derivative way, but that's for fun, pod race is the
Uh-huh.
way to go. Like, in fact, I'm surprised that they've done it so little
I
over
know.
since I mean, they acquired it what 2012, 2013. We're like 10 years in. This is
Hmm.
our first something the closest thing to a pod race we've had. Let me ask you this: Riot Racing, was it far enough away from pod racing? Should it just have been pod racing?
No, well, I think I think the riot aspect of it was that they were allowing weapons and the audience can get killed,
Yeah.
and they're not liable for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess in pod racing you could run the audience over and it would be fine too. And then like Sebulba cheats, like they're openly cheating in the pod race. They're just not
Hmm.
supposed to, but they are. This one, they're just like, yeah, you could just kill each other. But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I wonder if they should have just put the pod race engines on, but then I guess maybe elongating the ship would have reduced the sense of speed. So when you have like the little ship, then you could just make it seem faster.
They
So
looked like Ray's speeders, just modified. All of
yeah,
them did.
yeah, some of them, yeah, one of them was definitely pulling off of that, off of like the raised speeder motif.
Hmm.
So as the truth says, Rise of Skywalker is one of my favorite films. There's always someone that thinks Star Wars is the best thing and the worst. Yeah, like like for the record, like for me, Star Wars, like the worst Star Wars, is still more fun than most things, than most popcorn things. And like it's weird, like Star Wars sits in this weird place for me. Like I have a hard time usually watching like kid centric movies. I usually like weird films or heavy films, like real growing up boring shit, to some of you. Like that's usually where I fall. But Star Wars is sort of the exception to the rule.
Hmm.
And like that's where I can watch dumb shit like like in the 90s when everybody was like really happy like Independence Day. Like well, when we hit the Independence Day, like Armageddon and all that shit,
Yeah.
like Roland Emmerich movies, that's when I was out. That's when I was like forced to sort of like grow up as a film consumer. And so Star Wars is the one thing where I could go back and then I could watch a pod race and stupid shit like that and have a good time with it. So, but Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite Star Wars movie of all time. And it's one of Azatru's favorite films. And Azatru is my buddy, and I respect Azatru, his opinion, and that he likes it. And I know he's a sincere guy. If he didn't like it, he would say so. So I was like, okay, cool. But in a weird way, it kind of makes like that kind of better for me. The fact that it pisses me off, but when I know like somebody truly enjoys it, I'm like, well, okay, good. At least we don't all hate it. Like at least we don't all agree that this was like the wrong way to take it. So
Guess what I ate today?
shit.
No, and
What?
no, because every time like I have to go back to the whole like KFC, Taco Bell, whatever. Whenever there's a show coming on, what do you think I ate today?
Okay, wait. Did you go to? Okay, wait. Am I supposed to be guessing where you went, like Taco Bell?
Uh huh. No, I didn't eat Taco Bell, but
Well, now I know. So,
no,
I'm winning right now. See, right now I'm tricking it out of you.
no, that's
Uh,
wrong.
process of elimination. It wasn't Taco Bell. You said it wasn't Taco.
Mm-mm.
Was it Taco Bell?
Yeah, no,
See, I knew it wasn't Taco Bell.
no.
And then
Pod racing.
pod
Oh wait, that
racing,
was Taco Bell.
KFC,
Yes, thank you.
KFC,
Yeah, that's.
Tricon, Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
What do you eat at KFC?
I had. Uh, Actually, normally I've been eating. They they had this.
Max, did you eat a whole bucket of chicken?
Fuck no. No.
Do you put it in the blender and just put
Uh,
it back into the
no.
bucket and put
No.
a
No.
big
No.
straw
No.
in the bucket and just
Mm-mm. Nah.
no?
No. They used to have like this. It was like a deal where you can get like a chicken breast and a side or like a biscuit or something. I was looking for that, but I ended up getting a 2-piece, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was dark meat.
Mm. It tastes like tears. Lally says, if you remember the marketing from the time the sequels coming out, I think Lucasfilm were still extremely scared of the prequels. Oh yeah, I mean they were like, what did they use? Mark Hamill's
I was so
real
annoying.
sets, practical effect, and all that
Ugh,
shit.
that
And
was
I'm just
so
like,
annoying.
it was such a misstep because what they were doing in that moment was betraying the audience that they still had. They were literally saying, "Fuck the audience that we still have. We're gonna go for the audience that we don't have."
That was so
Because
annoying.
we figure if you like this shit, you must just like anything we do, and we could say "fuck you." Like, that was literally their, like, mindset and their attitude, and that's what sort of sets up this, like, fandom menace, guys who wear masks, griftery kind of fucking future that this little bizarro subculture world of fucking I don't I think they're like Disney adults, but fucking evil, like
And I
evil
think even
Disney.
Simon Pegg was saying shit like that too. It was like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh god," and look who you play, whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But then he had a change of heart, right, after seeing the rest of the films,
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't even I
in a
mean,
way.
like Simon Pegg had he has a more interesting story though than that, in the sense that he was on Spaced and Space was looking forward to the Phantom Menace, and then they wouldn't give him the toys and let him do anything with it. They kind of played that Lucasfilm like, "Oh, you want our stuff? No." They kind of played that with him. And then the movie came out and it wasn't super great, so Space turned it into a joke and he burned up all of his toys. But then as time goes on, Lucasfilm ends up bringing him in to play Dengar in the Clone Wars before the Disney acquisition. And then Simon Pegg is a friend of J.J. Abrams, so J.J. Abrams brings him on to play Unkar Pilot, which was I broke that, by the way, that he was
Yeah,
Unkar.
I
I
remember.
remember that. I remember I was like we had like all the context clues. We knew he was the alien. We thought had it, and then I finally saw him with like the lower parts of the Unkar stuff on, and I saw Unkar Pilot. I'm like, there he is.
We gave him shit.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it's like this show. I love the one tonight, but I haven't loved the last ones. But like like our buddies Meg and Santa. Meg says hi, by the way, earlier. Told me to tell you hi.
Hi,
And
Meg.
like they love fucking Bad Batch. And like
Mhm.
every now and then I find myself getting a little bit like snotty. Like, guys, this is just a fucking Bad Batch. Like, roll it back. Like, Bad Batch is in the same league here as like, Mando season 3. Like, it does they're not moving anything over Bad Batch. Bad Batch is just like is gonna come. But
So,
they really love
who?
it though. So I'm like, I
Like
shouldn't
her
do
and
that.
Santa?
Yeah. Yeah. Her and Star Wars Santa and May, like they fucking love Bad Batch.
And that's cool. I
No, it
I
is.
I've
It
heard
is.
I've listened to their commentary on it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wow, that's cool." I don't hate it. It's just it's different for me. It's a different experience for me.
Well, yeah, it's very it can be it's like essentially it's small stake Star Wars. And in doing so, when it works, it needs to be really delightful. I found tonight's episode to be delightful. And therefore the fact that it's small stakes is fine.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna do small stake Star Wars, you better be fucking delightful though. That's the whole thing. And it's oftentimes not. If
Like Sizzler?
sometimes it's disimpassioned, like Sizzler after its heyday in the 80s when they said, you know what? At this point, you're just trying to beat the system. You just think you can load up. You think it costs $12.99 for this buffet. You think you could eat more than $12.99, and that's why
I don't
you're
think
here.
I ever
Maybe
ate Sizzler.
no.
Did you? No.
Yeah, yeah. I had a whole scam against my father in Sizzler. Did I ever tell you about that?
Uh-uh.
So remember back in the days of early physical media when you wanted tapes, CDs, and previously viewed VHS tapes?
Uh-huh.
Across the street was a warehouse. Where? The warehouse. And that was a slogan, kiddos. And what I used to do is my dad loved Sizzler, fucking loved it. Like if you were like, Dad, Sizzler. So what I would do is like if like a CD was out that I wanted, or like a video that I was hoping I could buy or something, I'd
Mhm.
be like, Dad, let's go to Sizzler. and he was always up for it. And so we would go there, and then I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, let's like he'd be eating he'd be just mowing down on that salad bar, and then I'd be like, Dad, come on, let's go across the street to the warehouse. We don't have to repark. We can just walk right across the street, leave the car there." And he'd be like, "No," but then he's eating. The carbs are setting in. He's getting weaker. Like his you know what I mean? His resolve would just literally start to crumble. Like, come on, Dad, come on, let's do it, Dad. Let's go see what they got, Dad. What if they got burn on a wire? Burn on a wire, Dad? Previously viewed. They might have it. And he'd be like, and like by like the third time I would bring it up at the end, he would always say, yeah. And so we would walk across the street. He's like, we're not getting anything. We're just gonna look. And he's like, she's all like fucking full, tired. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I'd be like, oh my God, Dad, can you believe it? The Naked Gun. 1999. Remember when these used to cost $80, Dad?
Why were they $80?
When VHS tapes,
I remember
they were like
they were expensive. They were
it was like
$100.
Yeah, and like we lived in a bad neighborhood when I was growing up, and our house would always get broken into. And we rented Crocodile Dundee, and they broke into our house, and we watched it that night. Went to school the next day. They broke into our house, stole the VCR with Crocodile Dundee on the inside. And my dad goes to the video store like, look, I can't return it. They broke into my house and they stole the VCR with it in here. Here's the case. And they're like, best we can do is $80. So my dad had to pay the video store $80 for Crocodile Dundee, so that was so traumatic for my father that when previously viewed tapes became a thing, because okay, here's the other context that like people need to understand is that you used to try to go rent a video and they would only have like 3 copies in like a whole store for hundreds of customers. So when you got it, you felt like, fuck yeah, dude, I fucking did it, dude. I fucking, I got RoboCop, right? Soon after, they moved to this model where the big video stores like the Warehouse would get like 75 copies of RoboCop, and it was like, we guarantee we're going to have that big movie, that new release that you want. We guarantee we're going to have it. And then, but what that did was it created a secondary market of the previously viewed tape that was like $20.
Fuck this! I'm going to stream it.
So yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, but I kind of miss those days though. I kind of miss like when it felt like, fuck yeah, I got it. Like I got the movie.
Like this is really expensive.
Yeah, like even like today, like back in the day when you went and you bought a CD that was kind of mediocre, you're still like, you're gonna listen to it like 4 or 5 times. Like you're gonna like really like listen to every track and give it like your full attention. And when something was good, you were like, I'm so glad I found this. Like I found this. Today, everything is just like disposable. There's just it doesn't feel the same when it's like when you're listening to as much music as you want, like over and over again, and everything's just like, yeah, one and done, move on. That's my word of the week. But
I still have I have laser discs.
Really?
Yeah. I keep. I think my cat peed on some of them, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah, but some of those are starting to like separate now.
What, the laser discs?
Yeah, like laser discs are better than
opened them.
Laser discs are obviously better than VHS, but some of them are starting to like deteriorate. Like they're starting to break down.
I like the fact that they're big enough like a record.
Yeah.
So
I actually have somewhere around here. I have a copy of the Phantom Menace from the Laserdisc that was transferred to like 1-to-1 to a DVD, but it's the only way you can get the original film in the best quality, the original release of the Phantom Menace. Because remember when it came out on DVD, they added like the extra pod race lap, and the special the Phantom Menace that we all have on streaming and on disc is a special edition.
Oh, I actually have the VHS one, like the first.
Yeah, and I think that
is that the regular one or no?
I think the first VHS tape may have added the extra pod race lap to it as well. Because I remember, like, I got the VHS, the first iteration of the VHS tape. You know what? I think the first VHS tape isn't the special edition, but it's just not as good quality as the Laserdisc. That's why the Laserdisc is the only way to get the movie in the best quality possible.
Well, I like
It's
when
a
there's
Japanese Laserdisc, actually.
I like when there's imperfections. I like
Yeah.
the film quality of the
Yeah.
movie. Even like the originals, like I would love to see, even though I have like the 2005 version, the one that they came out with where they didn't like
The DVD
clean it.
version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the closest I have to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me. So
I actually have a copy
I
of.
like I like the grittiness of it, the film
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
not
That's
being cleaned.
one thing that they do with some movies now is they take them, then they with the digital effects and stuff, then
Add the
they strike a film print of it, and then they put the film print,
mm,
so that way it gives a little bit of like that less digital look.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, it goes a long way on some movies. Some movies it's good. Some movies it makes sense. But Saber Smith says there's Sizzlers all over Tennessee. I
Still?
still have never been. Yeah, we used to have them everywhere around here. Um, the Sizzler we used to have here, there used to be 2, and now there's 1. But
Wow.
yeah,
It's still open. They're still open?
yeah. There's
I didn't know
still
that.
one over here by there's one over here by the Burger King.
I don't think I've ever been to one. I know I've seen them, but I don't
I
think I ever.
I took Penny to Legoland, and when we were at Legoland, we got out. We were staying in a motel the night before, next to Legoland, and there was a Sizzler across the street. And I was like, "Kids!" Luke came too. Me and Luke and Penny, and we like go across the street, and then like we get there, and I'm like, "Look, it's a salad bar. You can have as much as you want, anything you want." They see ice cream, and like they go right away, and they just start getting ice cream, and I'm like, That's what you're gonna do." Like that's really how we're gonna do this tonight? We're just gonna have ice cream? They're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Look, guys,
You don't want
if
steak?
you guys start shitting your brains out and you guys can't go to Legoland, that's on you. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're on vacation, so you can do whatever you want." And so I don't think the kids ate anything at Sizzler but ice cream. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god. Do you remember GW Juniors?
"No, we didn't have that. What is that?"
No. It was a hamburger place.
Oh yeah, GW Juniors?
Yeah, and like Jeepers hamburgers, I think.
G
Do
Jeepers.
you remember Jeepers?
We didn't
No.
have Jeepers.
Yeah. I choked on a burger. It was like so big and like
Yes, not the first time you said that.
yeah, no, it was really like I was choking. Like I couldn't breathe. My mom like hit my back 2
Live,
times. Yeah,
live.
just to get the no, it was literally stuck in my throat.
Yeah,
And and I spat it
I'm reading
out
some of these
on the carpet
websites.
and she tells me not to she's like, "Why are you spitting on the carpet?
Yeah,
I'm fucking dying."
Max, you're just giving me a plethora of soundboard Max lines right now.
Good.
I choked on it. I spit it out on the carpet. I mean, what was the place called?
I think it
Jeepers?
was GW Juniors or
Oh,
Jeepers hamburgers.
man, I don't know, something about that. GW.
I was
GD.
I was like in 3rd grade or something. 3rd or 4th
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah. Sizzler though, really small now compared to what it was.
I
And
think I did. I might have had it once. I think. I'm hungry for steak.
now I kind of want some Sizzler soft serve, kind of a little bit of that chocolate sauce. But
I
yeah,
passed one on the way to work. Oh, Sizzler.
mhm. My my dad, when I was a kid too, started dating the neighbor. The neighbor lady got divorced or split up with her husband, and she starts coming over like, "I made some spaghetti. You guys want some spaghetti?" "Yeah, we want some spaghetti." And then you know, one thing leads to another, and with her and my dad, and well, next thing I know, I'm at Sizzler with her and her daughter. And we're there, right? And like, you know, at Sizzler, when you go in, like you don't like sit down and order. you like go up to a thing and like you pay, and then you take your ticket to your table and you sit down, and then they just bring you your food. But they have these like teas you can buy at the top. And I saw her go and she takes it. I was a little snitch. I'm a little snitch in the story. She like takes the teas and she takes them into her purse. And I'm like, this bitch. So and then so when we get up to the thing, my dad like tells my dad 34.50, whatever the fuck it was. And then I'm like, oh, and the 2 teas she put in her purse.
You did?
Oh yeah, I did. Little cop. My dad was like pissed at her for stealing it, and then kind of pissed at me for mentioning it because now he had to pay for it. Azatru says Legoland was my Disneyland religious journey. Seeing adult-sized Bionicles and Star Wars stuff all over beats the House of Mouse any day. Yeah, Legoland is good. I mean, it is good. It's I kind of missed the boat on it. Like I go there, I admire the work, but there kind of comes a point where you see like 15 giant Lego statues, and you're like, the next 3,000 you see are kind of like, I kind of get it now. You know, you guys can do this. Like I believe you. But the little
Speaking
kids
of
love it.
Bionicles, I do like how Sid calls him goggles.
Goggles. Yeah. Yeah. That's in Star Wars Santa's like little guessing game.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what he calls it. I call it the Star Wars Santa
Predictions?
guessing game. Predictions. It's always like tech is gonna tech. I'm like, yeah. You know. So I just say yes to everything. I just say that's my whole strategy. But 2 of the characters weren't even in the episode, so I got it wrong. Got 2 of those wrong. So tomorrow Santa's gonna be like all over my face about it. But anyways, well, I think we did it, Max. We did an hour. We did it. We talked about Sizzler more, but that's okay. We can do that.
Oh, but I have something else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
post it in the private chat right now, so I can post it in the public chat.
okay. So you guys, I have my new single out. It's called Volcano Rock, and it's just the entry single, or it's the original version.
Max usually does a bunch of like remixes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is where you start.
Yeah. So this the song is actually inspired by a Willy Wonka candy back in like 77.
Mm-hmm.
There might be somebody in the audience in the chat who knows Volcano Rocks, which is the name of a candy. And so I'm a big Willy Wonka nerd, so I wrote a song inspired by that. Just very different. And so this is called the original Sticky and Sweet version, which my remixes for this are going to be like candy inspired.
Huh.
And there is a phrase in the song that is specific to Star Wars. And if you're into Star Wars comics, you have to listen to the song and tell me if you know what the phrase is referencing.
Okay.
So that's my challenge to you. And then if you win, I will do something.
and it's not about crack rocks.
No. Crack rocks? No.
Not about crack rocks. That's
no.
I don't know who started that, but it's not true.
No,
it wasn't me just
How do I do backstage?
Go yeah, there's like a private, like over, can you see the comments tab? And then go to the private chat, put the link in there, and I'll copy it and paste it into the main chat.
Okay.
Yeah. That's usually the easiest way. Hey, it's a little gnat.
Let's see.
All right. Yeah, bop it to start.
Bop it to what?
Bop it to start.
Ooh.
Bop it.
I am.
Little Grogu, he bop it's to start.
Oh. Is that him?
Yeah.
Did you hear him say? Did you hear him in the trailer?
Let's get a rest.
Shut up. Shut up, Grogu.
He said,
Did I hear Grogu?
yeah, he said, yep, in the
Thank
trailer.
you, thank you, thank you. I was talking about that today on Santa's show because Santa asked me and Meg, he's like, do you think he's going to start like getting over the PTSD? And I'm like, well, we kind of have this like setup with Grogu where he's like he's like 50 years old, but it's like every year, every 10 year, every decade's like a year for Yoda, right?
Hmm.
Yoda's like an 80-year-old man, he's 800 years old. So it's like that's like how the kind of like thing works. So in the original trailer that we got from Celebration with the leak,
Hmm.
I did two breakdowns on the channel of two different videos, and one had really good audio, one had really good video by
Hmm.
comparison. And in the one where so the armorer goes something like, "Did you join this guy on your own free will?" And he goes, "Yep."
Yep.
and so I was like, so I think he is beginning to like talk, and because he's like should be like equivalent of like a 5-year-old.
Uh-huh.
And so he should be speaking, but he's not. Now he's starting to. Now he's starting to use his words a little bit.
Is it me or did it look like he had like his teeth were a little bit more pronounced? Like
There was
a
a shot where you can see those little Yoda razor
yeah, they're a
teeth
little bit
going. Yeah,
bigger, I thought.
yeah, he's getting little chompers. But so this right here is the link to Max's Volcano Rock video,
Yeah,
and I will add it to the description right now too
thank you.
of the show, and we'll tweet it out and stuff too. So, but
Thanks.
yeah, and good
And
job,
then there's
good
gonna be
job
a
with the
disco
song.
remix too.
Ooh.
There's gonna be some remixes. I'm really, really excited about these two.
I really like punk, and people always think that I'm gonna be mad at disco because I'm really into punk. But
So there's
truth
that.
is, disco doesn't pretend to be anything but what it is. I'm all about it. I think
Yeah.
it's good. I think it's a very honest, just fun. So
So
it's fine.
sorry. So I've been like really into Pete Burns,
Uh huh.
and he was originally him, Boy George, uh, all these people from England were
Hmm.
into the punk scene, and they were actually inspired by disco also.
Yeah.
So it all meshes in together, and the rebelliousness was more so of just mentality and not like anti-disco or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
just
Am I wrong? Like, are you familiar with Blondie's song Atomic?
yes,
Disco, right?
yeah, it is
It's
disco.
disco, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite
And
disco.
she was the first one to rap, or at least the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
white girl
First
to rap,
first white lady to rap.
female. Yeah.
Like a grandma, but she did it. It's still, pioneer of mediocrity, but I love it. It is mediocre rapping, but it is I like it though. I can't lie. I
Yeah,
mean,
I do too.
I'm like I'm white, so I'm like, listen to her go, So Dell says that's equivalent to his first words when Bo asked if he thought his dad was the only Mandalorian being not the only one, but the best. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's going to start verbalizing things a little bit more, and we'll start growing him up a little bit probably. And my guess, my prediction is still he will live out Din's life as a Mandalorian, and then once Din is gone, he'll move back towards the Jedi, and that'll be around the time that Rey comes up. You know what I mean? That's when he'll go back
Mhm.
onto the path and of the Jedi path, and it will free him of attachment as well.
Yeah.
If when his father dies, if he doesn't form new
They're
bonds.
yeah, I hope that they continue his story. I mean, they created not a monster, but they created
Yeah.
something that they have to now. Like
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
so invested in him.
Yeah. In the current landscape at this moment in time, second to Luke Skywalker, probably.
Mhm.
With shit you kind of can't put down, even though you might want to. At some point, you kind of can't.
Yeah. It's
You know.
like sorry, Ray, but
Yeah.
Ray and uh what's his name?
Finn, Poe.
Finn, like, yeah,
Yeah.
they don't. Like it runs
No.
into Grogu.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And like as long as that's kind of the problem that they have with, as long as Luke Skywalker can show up, no one else showing up will be as good as Luke Skywalker showing up. But when you move into the post Episode 9 era, beyond Luke,
mhm.
that's where Rey showing up starts to become more special now.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's I think where the opportunity, as time goes on, that's when it becomes, oh, Rey's here. Oh wow. You know, as opposed to if you just were doing Episode 10, just like, yeah, of course she's here. Why wouldn't she be?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
but
God, I'm gonna keep saying that.
yep.
Yep.
Mhm. He's like, yep. Like, whoa, what's going on there, Grogu? But anyways, yeah, good work on the new single. Everyone, check it out.
Thanks.
And well, I can't lie, Max.
I'm tired.
This week I was like, I'm a little tired too. But I was a little bit like, if Max says we're not going to do it, I was like, we just won't do it. I was kind of okay with being out. Now kind of back in. So next week I'm gonna do it.
I'm down. I just couldn't. I had to wait. I was sick last week, so.
Yeah. No. I was, but last week you couldn't do it. It was
Good for
episode
you.
was just like, no. The episode was just like, ugh. I didn't feel like we missed anything when we missed last week. But had we not done the show tonight and then I saw this episode, I'd be like, oh, I fucked up. We should have done it. But all right.
Alrighty.
Well, thanks for staying up with me tonight, Max. I know it's later for you than it is for me. So
it's cool.
Good. But yeah, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Talking about whatever the Star Wars news is.
Saber Myth. Yeah.
And bye guys. Bye everybody. Bye Max.
It's the end of the show. Come
on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.